Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes. Earlier today, Wafula Chebukati, through Saint Marjan, interdicted IEBC Vice CEO Ruth Kulundu. That technically means Chebukati has single-handedly sacked Ruth Kulundu. In this video, I want us to dig deep into the story, after which I'll explain why I believe the Supreme Court's verdict on the presidential petition has created a monster, a dictator in Wafula Chebukati, and why that verdict is going to augur very negatively for the commission in the years to come. Before we dig deep into that analysis, if you are watching us for the very first time, subscribe, give this video a like. Yes. If you look on what is happening in IEBC, it's clear the affairs of the commission are single-handedly being run and managed by Wafula Chebukati. Wafula Chebukati's word is now the law within IEBC. His word is final. Courtesy to the verdict by the Supreme Court. And this is why I still maintain that the verdict by the Supreme Court was not based on evidence, but it was purely based on some misinformed intelligence or intervention from outside of the Supreme Court. And we are now just seeing some of the consequences of that bogus kind of a verdict. That verdict has created a dictator, a monster in the name of Wafula Chebukati. Chebukati is retiring in some few months coming. I'm seeing a very high possibility where the person who will replace Wafula Chebukati will also just continue in the footsteps of Wafula Chebukati. That person will see himself or herself as final in IEBC. And I don't think, ladies and gentlemen, the framers of the Constitution were stopping to put 7 commissioners at IEBC. It's commonsensical that we have 7 commissioners, because in areas or instances where the commission cannot come up with a unanimous decision, then decision has to be made through voting, in which the majority becomes the position of the commission. And that was an argument that even the petitioners of the presidential election tried to argue in the Supreme Court. But shockingly, the Supreme Court actually just made their own findings that are clearly not based on law and on evidence. And now we are just seeing the repercussions of such kind of a verdict. The commission has now been reduced into a one-man show. The chair and the chair alone. As I talk, ladies and gentlemen, from some reliable sources again, Chebukati, Guli, and Boyamulu have already kickstarted the process of the elimination of boundaries in constituencies. Yes, constituency boundaries. And they are again doing that, excluding the 4 IEBC commissioners. They are doing that excluding the 4 IEBC commissioners. And personally, from where I sit, I strongly believe that's unconstitutional. And all these things have been brought about because of the bogus verdict by the Supreme Court. And that's why in this forum, I still maintain and I believe that the Supreme Court is not serving its intended purpose. In fact, it's just encouraging impunity First of all, we saw them saying their argument was based on some supernatural intervention, not based on evidence. Already they have messed up themselves to a point that nobody trusts that Supreme Court. The best thing for them to do as honorable justices is for them to resign. They are doing more injustice to Kenyans by still holding onto that office of the Supreme Court. And now back to Chebukati and his team, the two commissioners. It's now very clear, ladies and gentlemen, that the differences within IEBC Commission was personal. It was personal. I'm seeing a very high possibility where Chebukati might have reached out to the to IEBC Vice CEO, and the Vice CEO refused to play ball. And if you look at the letter of interdiction, they are accusing the Vice CEO for having taken sides with the 4 IEBC commissioners. So again, I'm seeing a very revengeful and a vengeful Wafula Chebukati. A Chebukati who does not condone or tolerate a divergent opinion. Chebukati is coming out as very vengeful and somebody who does not actually take divergent opinion kindly. He is very vengeful. And if you look at this kind of arrogance by Chebukati and his two commissioners, it's clear that kind of arrogance is not, they are getting that kind of arrogance because of a heavy hand. There is a hand that seems to be pushing them, to be giving them the push. And that's why I also believe that IEBC as currently constituted, Chebukati and the two commissioners, they have proved beyond any reasonable doubt that they have already been compromised. They are not working independently. As things are right now, the commission is compromised. There seems to be some foreign powers outside of the commission driving the affairs of the commission. That comes out very, very clearly. And also, even before I conclude, looking at Chebukati, and it's good we remind ourselves of some of these things. Looking at Wafula Chebukati's body language, even before the election, it was very clear Chebukati and William Ruto's team, they were reading from the same page. Yes. William Ruto was defending Chebukati, and from the way Chebukati was also talking, it's as if he was also defending William Ruto's position. And the Kenyans started raising the issues even before the election, before the general election. And exactly as Kenyans thought and expected and suspected, Chebukati just did the expected. And this is why I strongly believe that the Supreme Court missed a very wonderful opportunity, an opportunity they could have set this country on the right trajectory. The Supreme Court missed that signal. And now you can see that they have taken Kenyans back to the dark days of Kanu, back to the dark days of Nyayo. That comes out very, very clearly. Yes. So let me stop it there. Let me stop it there. In case you are watching us for the very first time, subscribe, give this video a like. To any other person who wants to have a chat or a discussion with me, or even to support this channel, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number, or maybe you can even support the channel through that number. Just channel any contribution or support to the number I mean. And to those watching us outside Kenya, drop a comment, let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. And if possible, subscribe, give this video a like. The interdiction of IEBC Vice CEO proves beyond any reasonable doubt that the Supreme Court's verdict created a monster, created a dictator, in the name of Wafula Chebukati. And most likely, the chairman, or rather, those who will replace, or the person who will replace Chebukati will also just walk in the footsteps of Wafula Chebukati. The Supreme Court is failing. It has failed. It's not serving its intended purpose. The best thing Kenyans should do, the best thing the Supreme Court judges should do, is to resign. Kenyans don't have faith in them. Let's meet in our next analysis.